Hi, I'm Perry and I live on a 55-foot narrowboat and travel around having lovely adventures in Tilly Teacup, my self-converted transit van. I used to have an allotment, but I gave it up because I was rubbish at it. And this is my life in a teacup. Hi peeps! Just caught me making my cup of tea. Just need to top it up with some water. So, you can probably see familiar surroundings. Yes, I'm home. I'm back home on my lovely boat. Excuse me, I'm just putting some milk in. I have a tiny little drop. Yes, so my trip to Wales. I'm going back to, because obviously I have seen a lot of Wales when I lived there, but it was always rushing to go somewhere. I never spent time in any of the places I've driven through. So I am going to go back, probably sort of later in the year. I do want to go back up to Scotland again, and I want to go to Ireland. I mean, there's loads of places I want to go. So did the Welsh trip, and what I've done is my last few days there, I've sort of cobbled it all together and put it at the end of this. And you will see that when I left from my last vlog, that destination, I left from there, I moved on to Hay-on-Wye, and you'll see some pretty pictures of that. Hay-on-Wye is lovely. For those that don't know, Hay-on-Wye is right on the border of England and Wales, but I believe it's classed as Wales, and I like to think of it as Wales rather than England, but it's Wales. And it's renowned for its book festival that it has every year, and I have actually been, but it's not just about books. I mean, it's very like lots of literature and things like that, and people giving talks and about their experiences, and if they've written a book, they talk about how that book came about, and if it's a biography, no, autobiography, isn't it? When you do it yourself, it's autobiography. Yeah, it's about their story. I saw a climber who had written a book about his experience when he got trapped, and he was really funny as well. He told a really funny story. But if you're looking for somewhere to go and you are in the UK, take yourself to Hay-on-Wye. The festival, I think, is in May, but it is ticketed, and to be honest, I got a funny feeling it's probably fully booked already. But you can still go to even in the book festival, you can still go to the town, just that you can't get into any of the sort of tent and halls where they have all the speaking and music and things. But it's got some fabulous bookshops and, again, lots of lovely cafes and independent shops. It's a really nice place. And I believe, though I didn't stay there, I stayed on a camp. Well, it wasn't even a campsite. It was an activity centre, albeit there wasn't much going, but it was to do with canoeing because it was right on the River Wye. So there were canoes and paddle boards and things like that. And to be honest, it was only me and one other camper that were there that night. So that was great. But yeah, do go and have a peek. It's lovely. So from Hay-on-Wye, I went further into Wales again, because I'd gone from West Wales all the way to East Wales and then went back into mid-South Wales because I was meeting up with friends. So I went to Crickhowell, drove through Crickhowell, and because I was on my way to Usk, and Usk does come before Crickhowell, but I'd gone sort of, depending which way you're going really, I suppose. Well, no, because I was coming from Hay-on-Wye. So yes, I did go through Crickhowell first. And just outside Crickhowell, I stopped off at Tretower, Court and Castle. And that was nice. And there's a little video about that, to sort of wander around some, like, the old buildings and things. And that was quite interesting. And then I went into Usk itself to see my friend Paula, who I hadn't seen for some time. Hi, Paula. Lovely to see you. And there's a little bit, I think, the cafe. And then I ended up in Gloucestershire, where I used to live on my narrowboat, where I'd lived for 10 years. So, and the reasons explain why I'm in Gloucestershire. But yeah, so you'll see all of that, and I've put all that together. No music this time, because I've had complaints about it. It's not complaints, it's constructive criticism, that it was distracting and everything. So I'm not putting any music on. And yeah, so that's to come. This afternoon, I've got to go for an MRI. I don't think it's anything serious. I mean, I've had MRIs before when I had my breast cancer. Not most of us, but quite a few people, there is this irrational fear. I mean, I remember one of the 2 times, they give you a little button when you're led in there that if you start to freak out, because a lot of people do it. It's irrational. You can crawl out the bloody thing if you want to. And I remember thinking, they give you a buzzer, and I remember thinking, no, don't press it. No, you've come this far, don't press it. And the noise, I don't mind the noise. It's like do 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 do. That's my impression of an MRI scanner. Last time I made up a song from that, and also the first time they didn't speak to me or anything. Like, I can't put headphones on to listen to music. That makes it even worse. A friend of mine has said, take my shoes and socks off, which is, I will do that, because again, if I'm feeling a bit, it's lovely to have your feet free. It's like when you put your feet on grass, it's so grounding. It's true what they say. It does make you feel like your body feel completely different. So I should take my shoes and socks off, make sure they're off. I mean, my shoes would be off anyway, but I'll take my socks off too. And can't have headphones, so no suggestions about that, because it makes it even worse. But the first time, no one said a word to me, but the second time, the nurse was really lovely, and she counted me down and told me how many minutes I'd done and how many minutes I had left, so that in my head I would count the seconds and count the minutes, you know, and make up this tune with this awful magnetic noise. So that's this afternoon, 4 o'clock. And like I say, it's irrational. The one thing I feel bad about, if I don't go through with it, if they tell me it's 60 minutes, for example, I can't. And because they've got to put a cage on my head as well. And that's the bit that I'm dreading more. Just anyway, so I've already spoken to them, because if I can't go through with it, I will have to be sedated at some point. But I want to go through with it, because I would feel bloody awful if I turned up, got in the scanner, 5 minutes in, told them to get me out. I have wasted an appointment that someone somewhere needs to find out what they have or what has to be done, and I feel terrible. I feel really bad. So for that reason, I will try and go ahead with it. Because I remember the first time, they said to me, well, try it, before I had to get undressed and everything. Try it and see how I feel. And I said, oh, can you pull me out? And they pulled me out. And I remember they said to me then, this is back in 2012, do you want to go and see your doctor, get another appointment? And I said no. And I say it again. Women give birth. I mean, they push babies out, and children have to go in these scanners. You know, I mean, if a young child can do it, poor thing. And like you women, I never had children, as you know, but you women give birth, then surely I can go and lie there and make up some stories in my head. So, getting all hot, I'm sweating just thinking about it. So I will be going for my scan this afternoon, and I shall all let you know how it went, and whether I freaked or not next time I speak to you. Anyway, I'll shut up now. And yes, let's get this show on the road. I'm off in my car to go into the other side of Birmingham. I will see you soon. Enjoy the vlog. Lots of likes and subscriptions and comments. I love it all. And thank you so much for all the support that you're giving. And I love everything, all the comments, and everyone has been so wonderful. You know, and yeah, whatever you've got to say, I love reading it and commenting back. So have a great day. Bye. Right, I'm just hopping on here to say, as you know, a lot of when I do my vlogs, I don't edit, I do it, I talk in stream of consciousness. I don't practice, I don't rehearse, you know, I just babble on, as you know. And I've just realised, the next clips that you see, I have said the word apparently about 10 times, and I'm so sorry, but I'm really not going to go over it again. I'm not going to, it's on the voiceovers. I'm not going to go over it and change it. I'm just going to leave it as it is, but I just want to apologise, because for some reason or other, I cannot shut up but say the word apparently. It's like when people say the word allegedly. So I'm saying the word apparently because I don't know if it's true. Maybe that's what it is. Oh, so apologies. Then I went over to Hay-on-Wye, and this carving is done by a chainsaw, and it's at the head of the main car park where you can camp overnight actually. And this is the guy that did this carving with a chainsaw. It's an incredible piece of work. Then I went up through the town. The Wobbly Owl, I loved that. It was a shop that sold alcohol, which I thought was a great name. It's a pretty little town. I really did enjoy it. And then I came across this bookshop with this massive lettering outside, says read, and obviously sort of covered in lots of books. I just like the colour of this house, and I would imagine when they painted it, that was back to the original colour. Of course, I had to have my cup of coffee and found this lovely cafe whilst I was there. This is the hall that stands in Hay. And then I went down sort of little back streets with lots of bunting and pretty shops. This was where I camped, literally just outside Hay-on-Wye, and it was a lovely site right by the River Wye, and it had the sort of pot wash there for campers, and apparently there is a cafe in here, but it wasn't actually open. And you know me, I love a good shower block and toilet, so I took this picture. I didn't have a shower that day, I must admit, but it looked lovely. Then I went over to Tretower Court and Castle, and that's near Canal. And this is the court, fabulous big chess set there. And apparently they do open it for weddings, but it's a medieval court. And apparently it was created by Roger Vaughan, who in the Wars of the Roses had become one of the most powerful men in Wales, apparently. A lot of the structure is original, but of course also a lot of the structure has been recreated. But it was quite interesting to sort of wander around, and then I went out on the balcony, and apparently I think he said, I spoke to the guy there, and I think he said a portion of Games of Thrones was filmed there. I don't know about Wolf Hall, but there's been a couple of period dramas and period films that have been filmed at Tretower Court, and you can take a video, not a video, you can put headphones on and listen to a recording of the history. And these costumes, I filmed these because apparently they have sort of reenactment nights, and this is the costumes that are worn, all handmade. I mean, you can imagine the days, can't you, when they used to wear these sort of things. And some of it was really lovely with these sort of applique designs on. Yeah, so they were interesting, just hanging there for you to look at. I could wear that. I quite like that. And then I went outside and I was walking over to Tretower Castle and saw those gorgeous piggies. So I had a little wander, their little house. I do like pigs. I think they're really lovely creatures, and it's lovely to see them roaming free and just, out in the sun. Pause it there if you want and have a little read about the tower. I think was about 4 stories high, apparently. And Tretower Castle itself was built by someone called Roger Pickard, and I think it dates back to the 1100s. This is my dream. This was in a field beyond the castle, a shepherd's hut in a field. That would be by perfection. So I went inside the tower, the castle tower, and sort of shot up, as you can see, just up through the floors there. Again, I don't know how much of this is original. A lot of it, I would assume, is. But wow, look at that. So you can see where the floors would have been in the round tower. I don't like not having any music to this bit because it's probably really boring. Beautiful blue sky. You can see how blue the sky was. It was a beautiful day. And just the remains of the tower that's been standing for all those years. Look at the countryside. Isn't it gorgeous? It was just so peaceful and so lovely. There's my shepherd's hut again. And this is just the little village where the tower and the hall, or the court as it's called, Tretower Castle and Court. Right, this isn't a popty oven. This is popty, which is oven in Welsh. This picture I liked because it was sort of the old castle showing modernisation of the trails from the sky. The obligatory cafe. Lovely old house. It must have been at one time, I would imagine. Or maybe it still is part of it, I don't know. And this is the beginning of the Monmouthshire and Brecon Canal. Oh, made me feel a bit homesick. Yeah, I'll go down there in a bit, but coffee first. This is a cutie. I'd say it's what, 25, 30 feet long, but I think it was a little bit overpriced, I have to say. But this was a nice wander around the canal. After I had my coffee, I went down and had a little look along here, and it's really pretty. And over on the canal, as I was there, I'll show you in the distance in a minute, there's a boat that's trundling its way down the canal. And it was nice to see, reminded me of home. There's another apology. Oh, I'm so useless. I don't know if I should carry on doing this. I'm so blinking useless. This little clip, I'm very quiet, and I've tried to change the volume and I can't. The reason I was speaking quietly is because I was out in the open and there were some people behind me. And I'm not one of those that shouts when they're on the phone or doing their videos. I stay quiet. See ya. So, this is my last night of touring around in Tilly Teacup, and I'm at Sole Junction on the Gloucester and Sharpness Canal. And this is the canal that I used to live on. There's my old boatyard that used to look after my boat. And all the way down through the bridge down to the canal. Lovely old bridge, swing bridge there that opens. It's strange to be here, I have to say. And I'm parked up in that car park that you can see here. So we've got a couple of van lifers actually. The yellow one, a guy called Kev, I've just met him. Don't know the guy in the black, the guy in the blue van right at the back. He was there last night as well. And there's me, the grey silver van. This lovely old French thing is owned by a guy called Tim. He's a boater, and I knew him from when I was here. So, I don't know if you can hear the birds. Oh, look, little duck. So, I've had an interesting 10 days or however long it was. So this is my little kitchen area, as you know. It's my shelf unit, there we go, and this flops down if you remember, and I'm making, I've got, they don't look very appetizing, but I've made it myself. I love this. I think I've said on video, a vlog from last year, this Ridge Monkey's brilliant. That's just vegetables. I mean, it's potatoes and garlic and carrots and broccoli, salt, pepper, a bit of little chili and some basmati rice. And I'm sort of mixing it all together and making myself a nice veggie rice dish, which I will have with, I love limes. I'll have a squeeze of lime and some nice, I've got some honey sourdough. And it's really nice. I'll have a little bit of that with some butter on and sit and watch something on Netflix. So, well, dinner's almost ready. I'm starving hungry. Oh, that noise in the background is my diesel heater just cooling down. It'll stop in a minute. I don't know if you can hear it. Oh, the diesel heater and the gas cooker, I'm absolutely boiling. Can't say I'm not toasty warm in my van. You probably can't see me very well. It is only 6:30, but obviously being in the van and I haven't got everything open, so it's sort of, you know, looks a little bit dark and moody. So like I said, yeah, last day, last night, and tomorrow, as I'd mentioned some time ago, the allotment has its final day. I mean, to be honest, I probably would have given it up anyway because, as I said in the intro, I'm bloody rubbish. But because I live too far away now. So one of the reasons of coming back through Gloucestershire from Wales to go back to Warwickshire was to clear out the allotment. So I've cleared out the allotment, got rid of all the rubbish. Now there's just some bits and pieces that I have to take back. So tomorrow morning I'll have to load the van with boxes of stuff left over from the wedding business, but that's going to be stored and my very good friend Kath's. Hi Kath, thank you very much. It's going to be stored in her garage, and I'll go up there one day and just spend the morning with a flask of coffee, sorting everything out and throwing away what needs to be done. But for now, I shall bid you good evening. Hope you enjoy your evening wherever you are, and I'm going to have my supper and watch crap on Netflix. See you soon. Bye. Well, it's sad that it's come to an end. I really enjoyed it. In fact, I don't really want to go home. I've got to, because I've got things I've got to do. But yeah, tomorrow I'm seeing my friend called Sue. Hi, Sue. And then once we've had our brunch, I shall make my way from Gloucestershire to Warwickshire, back to my lovely boat. Yeah, I think it won't be that long before I'll be heading off again in my van, because I have had a fabulous time and I've met some nice people, and yeah, it's got to be done again. So, as usual, I will say goodbye and see you again soon.